Thank you, Auditor, and your team for doing all this this great work for us and for Canadians. I do want to pick up on some of the line of questioning that my colleague, Mr. Harvey, had started along the temporary foreign worker program, particularly when it comes to unemployed skilled workers in my province of Alberta. Your findings were certainly a concern to me. I have it here, in fact, that you found 40% of the cases the program officers did not sufficiently question employers on whether they had made reasonable efforts to hire or train Canadians. So given that the temporary foreign worker program in 2015 hired 90,211 temporary foreign workers, are you, in your assessment, essentially saying that there's 36,084 jobs that were given to temporary foreign workers that could have gone to Canadians first?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The types of problems that we found tended to be more focused on certain types of industries. So we wouldn't be able to extrapolate exactly the way that you extrapolated that, because the problems we found tended to be clustered in certain types of industries, particularly the hiring of caregivers or the hiring of people in fish processing plants, those types of things. There would have been some other cases, but they would have been more on an individual point. So, you know, most of the issues tended to be clustered, so you couldn't just do a straight extrapolation of the 40%.
Then I guess, did you find clear examples of employers who are abusing the program, whether it be those industries or other?
Well, what we found were when you looked at the application that was presented by the potential employer, that in the application contained information that we felt the department should have questioned before they approved the hiring of a temporary foreign worker. You know, for example, we talk about the fact that there were people that were laid off, Canadians that were laid off from fish plants, and we looked at about 500 records of employment, so records of Canadians being laid off from fish plants, and the 80% of those had claimed EI during the period of time when those fish plants were hiring temporary foreign workers. So that should have been information that, you know, again, just an indication to the department that perhaps there were Canadians available, Canadians who had worked in that industry, and Canadians who had experience in that industry, who were collecting employment insurance at the same time that temporary foreign workers were being hired. Similarly, we indicate, you know, a particular example that showed up in our sample of an employer who applied to hire a caregiver and said that they needed to hire a temporary foreign worker because they were looking for someone who was trustworthy and with the ability to work without supervision. But the department didn't question that application and say, well, you know, there would be Canadians available that would fit that description. So the issue that we had was that the department wasn't challenging some of the requests to make sure that there truly was a labour shortage and truly was, you know, there were no Canadians available to fill those jobs.
And to be clear, with the scope of your audit, did you speak to any employers throughout the audit directly?
I don't believe we spoke to any employers, but if I'm not right on that, I will provide a correction. I don't think we spoke directly to employers, but I'll check that.
Sure, and I have about 30 seconds left. Any examples similar to the caregivers, the fisheries, and a more regional breakdown, say perhaps within Alberta oil and gas sector, if you have any of those?
No, Mr. Chair, I don't have any of those examples.
All right, thank you.